Morning. What a beautiful morning. So this morning, Dad is spraying the last tank of bean burn down, and I'm planting corn. BJ's spreading some bean ground, and I think Dad is going to plant a little bit of beans. So I told him I would get the Avatar all set up because he's never really used it much. He went after some Kim in the spray trailer, but before I take off in the corn planter, I'm gonna help him. I'm gonna fill up this for him. For some reason on our Avatar, sometimes some of the units will sag down a little bit like that. Doesn't seem to affect anything, but notice it does that from time to time. Slight change of plans. I'm gonna leave this here for now. Dad has one tank of burn down to go spray for bean ground, but the way we fertilize our corn, everyone has different practices. So oddly enough, it's not one size fits all. People do things differently, but the way we do it, we don't put pre-plant on our corn. We plant it, then come back in and top dress it with 28 with the sprayer before it emerges. So Dad wants to start top dressing some of the ground that I've already planted. So he's going to do that because that was a week ago when we started. Some of that might even be out now, but if we get it early enough, we won't have to use streamer or drop nozzles. So he's going to do that today. He said if he gets to the bean planter, he'll be late this evening. So he told me to go plant, and we'll worry about the bean planter after he gets done top dressing. I guess I need to go grab my pickup truck. I just forgot. I need government juice, and that Challenger's right in the way, so I'm going to move the bean planter. I'm just going to fold it up. I was going to leave it unfolded, but we'll just fold it up and pull it right here. So you notice we got new closing wheels on here. These are the Yetter twisters. They got cast on the outside, poly on the inside. Should do a little bit better than the standard closing wheels. Looks like BJ's heading out to do a little bit of tillage. Got the train rolling. So we're ready to head to the field. We have about 65, 70 acres of seed. And then we're gonna have to get a ride to a pickup, switch varieties. Try to make a pretty good dent in corn planting today. I have several fields of pretty large size right beside me, and I'd like to get those in the ground today. So Sea Consultants, a company we buy a lot of corn seed and bean seed from, they are here putting their soybean test plot in, and BJ is over here tilling it for them before they get started. Should be a good plot this year, getting it in a good timely manner. Corn plot, they got it in there last week. The accelerator and then the rolling harrow behind it does a phenomenal job making a good seed bed. So this is not typically where I would go to plant next, but this year our seeds prescriptions are wrote based off of our corn varieties, and the variety I have in this box is supposed to go down here to this field. So there's going to be some running today that I normally wouldn't do, because as I fill this thing with varieties that get placed in different places, I might leave to go plant a 10-acre field up the road and then come back. It's going to be kind of a pain in the butt, but I really am curious to see how placing those seeds a little bit better than we have in the past will work. But well, maybe a 10-acre field I wouldn't worry about it, but yeah, we'll see. For example, there's 147 acres down here. I'm going to plant the 100 and leave the 47 for now, until I get these other fields knocked out that use the same seed as this 100-acre field. So it might not get planted today. It might be after this batch of rain we got moving in. So I know on the channel it sounds like I complain about too wet or too dry. Well, we dry out in a hurry, just because of some of the sandier soils we farm in. Like, this is one of our best fields Some of the ground's a little heavier, but some of it's pretty loamy, but this part is a little heavy. Whenever we whenever we mapped and fertilized this field, that was a water hole. I just drove through it and it's dry as a bone. We put that fertilizer on here and strip tilled in here less than 2 weeks ago. So, I mean, there was water standing here. So it dries out in a hurry here, I'm telling you. But that's good though. Now we'll get a plant up. Now it might drown out, but if it don't, it should be some pretty good stuff there. I have to route some hoses different. I keep popping my hose out every time well, not every time, but folding, unfolding, catching on this 3-point hitch when we drop it. Pulls my lift hose out. So this is our variable rate map. This is what we will be fluctuating throughout the field. Each row is individually controlled on population, and with the meters we're running, I mean, each one can plant a different population as we cross on them boundaries. Pretty neat stuff. We're fluctuating 5,000 to 6,000 seeds per acre across this field. So, is it enough to matter? I really don't know, but we're going to find out, I guess. Yeah, kind of neat to see. So this field was reboundaried this year. That's one of the things we were doing in that rock, so we're driving around these fields, but still want to pay close attention. We shouldn't get too close to any trees, but you never know. Sometimes technology does some funny things. So since we have this 100-acre field and we don't have enough seed to plant it all in the planter at the moment, I'd like to try a couple different varieties here. So I skipped 4 passes here. I'm gonna plant my way down, then I'm gonna skip a few more passes, and then I'm gonna go to the other end and work this way. That way we have a few different strips. I mean, that'll be 96 rows of a different variety, just kind of scattered across the field. Seems like a good idea to me. If we go to our large map here, and we look at we'll just look at our population map. There you can see that's where we skipped. That number there, 352, is what I've planted with this planter for the year so far. Let's see what we can get that to by the end of the day. I'm showing that we quit planting on one of the rows, but I'm thinking we're just out of seed. But I'm gonna go check. We should be very close to out of seed if we're not. Yep, we're empty. I can see it. There's nothing wrong with row 23. We just don't have any seed to run in it. Here's a fun fact for you. The seed from that half of the planter comes from this box on this side of the planter and vice versa. So since the other half of the planter still has some seed in it, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to fill that side in with the other half of the planter. That's my plan anyways. So just a couple rows are running right now, and we're filling in that spot. Now we just got one row running. Row number 2 is filling in where row number 23 ran dry. So we are driving to get seed instead of having someone take me to my truck. This may seem kind of silly, but the seed that I'm getting ready to put in, basically one of the fields that's going to have to go in for me to get empty to place my other seeds where I want is right beside the shop. So I didn't have a ride to my truck. I figured I might as well just drive the tractor there. It's 10 minutes. Actually, not even 10 minutes, about a 6-minute drive in the tractor. So not the end of the world, and we had to come up here to plant this field directly in front of the shop anyways. Almost guarantee you that Dad will want me to plant that field across the road, but that takes a different variety that I'm not going to have in the box just yet. One thing I like about this Pro Box tender, I'm taking 4 different varieties of seed with me. Kind of nice. Don't really like having so many different seed varieties, but when you're switching stuff up pretty often, it's nice. So it would appear that we have a 40 unit Pro Box with this channel. I was wondering why we had bags. I didn't think we had 75 units of channel. sometime tonight we're gonna have us a nice little bag burning party, because we're gonna need these bags. Now we got 50 units loaded up, 117, 118 acres of seed. So we're gonna park this thing out of the way and go get to it. It's hot. It is hot. Probably 85, something like that. I'd call it hot. Definitely warm. If nothing else, it's definitely warm. Yeah, basically just building a gigantic privacy fence. So we're done with this field. We're gonna head back to where we started. We're gonna plant about 10 acres there, and then we're gonna hop across the ditch to the 180 acre field beside it, plant this variety empty, and refill, plant the last 10 acres of that field, hop back across the ditch. I know it's gonna get confusing. I have a plan, rest assured. What we're doing here will be 3 varieties and a couple different side-by-sides. See which of these 3 numbers does the best. They're all DeKalb numbers, these particular 3. Just because that is what our seed scripts are wrote for in this field. I believe it's because DeKalb varieties seem to like a little higher population. So this prescription for this field was wrote with that in mind. In the corn seed world, there's flex ears and non-flex ears, and the DeKalb stuff is not a flex ear. Coming up on some pretty long passes. Now, one thing I keep having with this tractor and planter, and I'm sure we'll have it at this hill I have in front of me, when I go up that hill, all of a sudden my singulation and population drop bad, especially on the right side of the planter. I'm not looking down so much that I'm losing hydraulic flow. My vacs aren't changing that much. On the Fendt, you can set a priority on the remote, so I have my priority vac set on my vacs and my blowers. They're on separate valve blocks, so I don't know what's going on there. I've upped my generator flow. Maybe I'm losing power to some of the sensors. I don't know. I hope it's a false reading. I don't have any corn up yet to tell, but I'm at a loss as far as what to do. So if anyone has any ideas, let me know. Right now we're planting good, but as soon as we get to this rise in the field, I'll show you what I mean. Yeah, here's the little grade. Nothing major at all. I'll even drop speed. Looky there. Drop speed down. We're going 5.5 miles an hour. Now watch what'll happen. Won't be no warning or nothing. It'll just start dropping. There we go. And boom. What I really don't understand is if I slow even further down, it does not really matter. It's like it just takes it a while to come out of this funk of whatever it is. I mean, right now we're going 2 miles an hour. I don't know. See, I'm at a loss. We got a neighbor right there. It's actually, his place is in between 2 of our fields, but I think he's getting some ground fit for planting. He got a different tractor this year. Gave him a deer. He's usually a pretty die-hard red guy. So we are 2.4 acres into this field. I started an hour and 10 minutes ago. Now my theoretical efficiency is 62 acres per hour. I just wanted to show you guys that's theoretical. I mean, I've been planning this whole time, but every time you stop the turn, you're eating into that theoretical measurement. I did 62 acres in an hour and 10 minutes, so probably did about 50 in the first hour, be my guess, somewhere in there. Oh, looks like another Pro Box has bit the dust. We'll do the same thing. We'll run up here a ways, turn around, come back in the same pass. That way we fill in our empties. I'd like to get this thing completely empty, but I'd say this side of the planter still has a little bit of seed left. We'll run for a little bit. So Mrs. Brown was on her way home from town, and I need my seed tender, so she's giving us that lift. Hey, you bring me food?
Yeah.
Oh. Hi guys.
Hey.
You're not a Jeep mama today? Bye kids.
Bye.
Probably see you guys in the morning.
See you guys. See you in the morning.
And it's a long way back through there. And down and back's about 15 to 18 acres, depending on what part of the field I'm in. So, yeah, long passes, a little over a mile. Makes for some efficient running, though. Yeah, we were pretty close to empty all the way around. Good. Put some lube on it. Yeah, that didn't take long. We're full. Grab my coffee stash and get back at it. So we got to run over to that other field, just on the other side of those trees. So it's not like we're going far. We do have to fill in the rest of that field. That's roughly 15 acres, and then we'll be done. By done, I mean done with that field that we started in this morning. I guess now that we're in the big rows, I can eat my salad. Someone put tomatoes on it. It's disgusting. So I bumped up my RPMs a little bit. Try to run this tractor to where we don't use a lot of fuel, but I think just pulling this big implement, we're using a little bit more fuel. We'll see if that on this grade affects our skips any. Maybe it won't lug down at all. We'll see. It didn't drop a lot. Maybe that was the secret. Guess I should try to save fuel. Now this flat ground is perfectly fine. And really, full throttle, we're not really using any more fuel than we were because, well, we're in the power band a little bit better, not lugging down. We're just about done with this field. I guess we got about 30 acres left. We're getting down to the point rows though. So point rows would be those little areas there. Done with the long ones. Well, had to switch varieties. Ran dry a little sooner than I thought. So now we're planting Seek and Sultan's 1115, filling in where we ran out there. And we don't have much left of this field, like 5 acres, 6 acres. I thought we'd have a little bit more than that, but this population does fluctuate. It's a little higher in this field, so I guess figured wrong. Well, heading to the next one. This one took quite a bit longer than I was expecting, but it is done now. I thought we would be to the next field like an hour ago. Oh well, I guess that just means we'll be more tired. I got a 160 acre field that I would like to get done tonight. It's 10 o'clock. It's gonna be late, but we should be able to get that. There's a 20 acre field beside it I was originally gonna do, but we're at the switch seed varieties, and well, I don't want to do that tonight because they're bags and I don't feel like messing with them. Rather just stay there and work on the big field and get it knocked out. Looks like BJ's still working ground. Getting some stuff done. Been kind of bouncing around all day. I think he's been in the spreader and that thing off and on a few different times. So opening this field up in the pitch black with all the dust. Glad we have good boundaries that we can steer off of. So I would have a hard time keeping on the property line, keeping away from the neighbor's property. But since we've done that, we've already got a perfectly straight line for the, I don't know, probably 3/4 of a mile to the river. Makes it pretty handy. Well, folks, we're out of seed in the planter. So I think I'm gonna take this up to the barn, put seed in it. While I'm doing that, I'm gonna fuel up because, well, we're also just about out of fuel. We're gonna take a nap and then come back here tomorrow and finish this. That's my plan anyways. All right, we're putting the Pro Box in. I'm feeling lazy. This planter's a little longer. Tongue-wise, usually both the deer and the horse just park right here and fuel up and fill up. I hope it works. Coincidentally enough, it takes about 10 to 15 minutes to fuel this thing. This is how long it takes to fill up with seed. Well, we're energized for tomorrow. Well, folks, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. If you would, do me a favor, thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and we'll see you in the next one. So, folks, when I was editing this video, I realized we never shared how much acreage we got done for that day. So, that day I planted 440 acres. That's the most acres I've ever planted. I believe last year I planted 430 acres, but that was with a 40-foot bar last year, but I also had to plant till like 5:30 in the morning to do that. So, overall, it's a pretty productive day. We got a lot of acres knocked out, and nothing really broke. I also found out later on in planting season the issue I was having with that planter was related to radar. If you go back earlier in this video and notice whenever I'm showing the seed dropping off, my radar was jumping up to 20 miles an hour. So basically those meters were spinning really fast, dropping all the seed all at once, and then it would take a while to catch back up. So that ended up being the problem. So yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.